Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking about you and your business. My producer, Sigmund Kramer, went so ballistic that he canceled my next segment so that he could get his word edgewise. He had a, your classic Jane Curtin versus Dan Aykroyd, except, this is radio and a station with high principles. So I told him to curtail the language, but he was really quite taken in a negative way with our last segment. He really believes that our last guest may be a little off, and I may be putting it nicely.
Well, it's not so much that she's off. It's that the whole perspective of some congressmen or some politicians or the politicos thinking that somehow this particular issue, Obamacare, is going to work in their favor is a pipe dream. Kevin, we live in a society now where the media is completely on the side of Obama and his administration and the Democrats. And we have a bunch of lily-livered congressmen and senators on the Republican side who are not really going to take a stand. Look, I can count on one hand the number of senators and congressmen who really took a stand against Obamacare. Yeah. Out of hundreds of members. Well, okay, that doesn't bode well. The American people obviously aren't taking a stand because, Ted Cruz stood up, did his little speech, and who joined him? Did you have Tea Party riots all over the place?
Lee's the only one.
No, I mean among the American people. Did you have a bunch of Tea Party rallies and riots and things of that nature going on to support Ted Cruz? No. There was no groundswell at all. And quite frankly, the idea that Obamacare somehow, just because it didn't roll out smoothly at the beginning, that in 2014 or 2016 is going to correlate to a Republican victory is asinine. I'll tell you why.
I had a feeling you would.
It is going to roll out more smoothly. They are going to get the website eventually up and running, and then people are going to have to sign up. Well, they're going to sign up.
So
they're not going to have some revolution against Obamacare. If it got passed in the Senate and the House, signed into law, the stupid Supreme Court decided that it was constitutional, even though it's really not.
Nope.
And
if it is a tax, it should have been kicked out because of the fact it wasn't done. Didn't start in the U.S. House of Representatives like Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution requires.
So all these things have occurred, right? Now we're to the point now where people are having to sign up for the exchanges, and they're grousing, but they're going to sign up for the exchanges. So people's health care coverage is going to be out of their control. It's not going to be held by hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of Americans losing their health care coverage from their employer. That's going to happen. It already is happening. And they're going to have to find, either through the exchange or something, a different health care plan. It's going to happen. We're a bunch of sheep. We're just going to let it happen. And,
well, I think that's really bad news.
Yeah, it is, but it's happening, and I'm sorry, but it's a pipe dream to think that somehow this political football is going to end up, not only in a touchdown, but in like a Super Bowl level victory for the Republicans. Ain't going to happen.
The thing that bothers me most, maybe, about this whole deal is that it's the only game we have. That's the only thing. I invited her to talk about other wedge issues. We ain't got nothing.
Because
this is it.
Because they're completely short-sighted. You see how they're seeing right now. They're literally grasping at straws. They see right now that Obamacare is not doing well because of the website and it's not popular, and so they're jumping on it. Well, look what they just came out of. They're at like 28% approval in the GOP because of the handling of the debt ceiling.
Yeah, and the House is at 12%.
The government shutdown, right?
Yep.
Or slimmed down, or whatever you want to call it. The Republicans are very, very unpopular right now. It's been painted that way in the media, right? So American people pick up on that. If they pick up on anything, they're going to pick up on what the media portrays it as. And so it's not a victory for the Republicans. It's not going to be a victory for the Republicans.
Yep. Well, I think that, I'm not very optimistic. I don't. I feel like something has happened demographically in this country. I don't see, and when people say that, they think I might be talking about race. That is part of it. That's only a small part of it. There's an age issue as well. We have younger generations who really think being entitled is okay. Sounds so much like my dad, but that they think being entitled is okay, that people do owe them, that somehow we are benefited by getting to share the air with these younger people, and they're just not that bothered by things like welfare and government taking care of them and cradle to grave, the stuff that used to offend average Americans just aren't offensive anymore.
Do you remember the movie Cinderella Man? Ron Howard directed it with Russell Crowe playing the boxer, and it was set during the Depression.
Movie.
Great movie, right? Well, now it's fiction, because what would happen? You got a boxer who's trying to support his family, and he says he's fighting for milk. He does go on the public dole, and then he goes back and he pays it back.
Right.
Once he makes money. When would that happen now?
Not today.
No, it's fiction.
Not today.
It's complete and utter fiction. Not going to happen. So the mindset has changed. It's okay to take from the government, right? That's what they're there for. That's the mindset. Another thing she said that I have to disagree with is that the young people would rather just go ahead and take the penalty, right?
Yeah.
Than to sign up for Obamacare.
Right.
Okay, well, the whole thought is that the penalty is going to remain cheaper than what it would be to sign up for an exchange, right? To sign up for health insurance. So they'll just keep paying the penalty. Kevin, there's nothing in the law that says that they can't raise the amount of the penalty.
Yeah, but until they do, it won't.
Yeah,
and they will. Until they do, most young people won't sign up.
That's correct, but what they're going to have happen very quickly, you mark my words, is that they're going to see that young people aren't signing up,
and they're going to force them.
They're going to force them to, because instead of being, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, now it's going to be $25,000.
Right.
Okay? That's a penalty that the kids won't afford. And they'll say, well, I guess I got to sign up now.
Man.
And they'll do it.
Well, I'm depressed. I'm calling this a segment done. I'm sticking a knife in it.
I just can't sit by and just have all this pipe dream nonsense, going on without saying, look, folks, reality here, reality check. We're losing.
Well, I hope you feel better, because I'm physically sick now.
That's how I felt when John Roberts, when the Supreme Court decision came down. Remember, we were sitting in this room. Yeah. We saw that decision come down, and we were all just
I was physically ill. I was shocked.
Absolutely.
I'm still trying to figure out what the administration has on him, because it's so, and you smile. I can't imagine any other reason, when you look at his history of decisions, any reason how he could make that stretch. He was famous for not making stretches. He was a very conservative judge, and essentially what he did is he rewrote the law for them, and if it was a tax, like he argued in his decision, then it was unconstitutional based on Article 1, Section 8, which says all revenue-raising bills begin in the House. That revenue-raising bill began in the Senate. So it's either a tax, it's either unconstitutional because it wasn't a tax, but it's forcing people to buy something, or it's unconstitutional because it began in the wrong house of Congress. Either way, it's unconstitutional.
I agree wholeheartedly, but yet it passed.
It passed.
Yet it's going through, and that's the point. How long is it going to take for us to wake up and say, stop doing illegal things?
Yeah.
Stop lying to us. And stop. We need to stop letting them get by with it.
And we need to get more bumper music. We need "How Long Has This Been Going On" as bumper music. That'll be a good thing to add. All right, that's Sigmund Kramer. He's the producer here, and occasionally takes over the microphone in spite of my best efforts. I'm Kevin Price. You're listening to The Price of Business. More after this.